Good afternoon, everyone. We'll just give a few more minutes before we start the session. Yeah, maybe another 2 minutes and then we can start the session. Okay, good afternoon, good day to everybody. My name is Kuga, your trainer today. Together with me, I have my colleagues, my amazing colleagues, with me, Shanice, Nanan, Randy, and Scarlett, and few others might be joining us shortly as well. So let's get started. So before I start, I just want to make sure you guys can hear me well, can see my screen. Maybe give me number 3 in the chat or thumbs up, you know, letting me know that you guys can hear loud and clear, can see my screen. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Susan, Peter. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Right, so now I know that you guys can hear me well, can see my screen. So let's get started. So because the session won't take so long, right? It'll just take probably about 15 minutes and so hence that's why I want to start slightly late so that, you know, I don't have to repeat myself all over again in the event. 2 seconds. Sorry, working from home. So again, I'm glad to see you here today. So I might have seen some of you yesterday, right, from yesterday's session. So yesterday's session, we cover about buyers, you know. So for today's session, we'll be walking you through what are the questions that sellers has in mind, you know, when they're considering to put their property into listing. And as an agent, how can you advise your seller effectively, right? So we can use this awesome data that I shared yesterday, but slightly we're going to tweak it a little bit. So yesterday's more about buyer and today's more to a seller. So today, right, data is one of the main factor influencing consumers' decision making with property seekers. Having access to data just a click away, it is so important to leverage timely, relevant, and accurate data to build a persuasive sales pitch, right? So not only you can insight data better to support the needs of the customer, but they are also useful to position yourself as the real estate partner choice, right? So data gives you credibility and also definitely efficiency. So these are the things, some of the things that I put it down, like I write it down, right? Like, hey, what are the sellers want to know before they're selling property? Like, if you are selling property or I am selling property, what are questions are going through in my mind? Is how much is my property worth is one of the most main question, right? So how much is my property worth right now? You know, or how much is my neighbor selling? I can see, you know, someone's putting up for listing and so on. So how much are they selling? So the past transaction, how much is it? Especially during pandemic, right? So what's been happening, you know? And then is it the best time to sell, or how long it will take? Generally, you know, some property goes as fast as 1 week, some property goes as fast as slow as 6-7 months, right? So it's all these questions in a normal person might have it, right? So hence, we're going to use this data, right? Presenting to you these 4 insights in your agent net to help you to answer some of these questions, right? To kind of persuade your seller, hey, I think it's a good time. Or, you know, you can even be, you know, can say that, hey, I think you should wait for a while. Let's see the market going another 2-3 months. and then we can go, right? So it could be anywhere, however you want to advise, right? So we have Market Insider, Project Insights, Home Report, and Explorer. So all these you can find under AgentNet. So you don't have to log into 2-3 platforms or anything like that, only on an AgentNet. So let me just walk you through. Before we go on to live demo and some insights that I want to share with you, some bite-sized insight, just want to make sure that you guys are well aware, right? We have been communicating this for the past 2-3 months, I guess, right? A lot of news, a lot of EDMs, a lot of SMS, so many things are going out. So since it's new, we have been giving this for free for almost few months now, which ends on 30th of September. So as of 1st of October, right, you will still get it, okay? But depending on your packages. So what is the difference, right? So let's say if you're at one package, the only thing that you might lose out is your Explorer, which I'll be showing you as well, right? Explorer is pretty new, pretty awesome. The only difference is between these packages is either it's real time or non-real time. So real time is like it gets updated within 7 days. Non-real time, it might take some time, you know, but 6 weeks or even earlier and so on. So that's the only difference. So you have another week or so to enjoy this. I mean, after that, you're still able to enjoy it. It's just that depending whether it's how soon or how fast and so on. Right. So what my team have done is now they came up with awesome bite-sized insights, I like to call it. So these insights, right, you cannot be found under this AgentNet or that. It's like something the mechanism they do behind the scene, right? So they came up with these particular insights. If you watch our previous recording, right, for yesterday's recording, it'll be different insights. So whoever haven't watched or didn't attend our session yesterday, I've sent the link in the chat box earlier. I'll send again, maybe another session, so you can watch and look at this awesome bite-sized insight. So today's insight is about how does the proximity to MRT station affect the latest PSF and the price premium of units mature in HDB estates. So some definitions, right? So the scope of comparison here is mature HDB estates, which are the Ang Mo Kio, Bedok, Bishan, Bukit Merah, Bukit Timah, so and so. You guys can take a screenshot if you want to, right? You can quickly take a screenshot. Otherwise, I'll be uploading this session as well on YouTube, in case you don't worry about it, right? So HDB flat type here, we have 3-room flat, 4-room, 5-room flat, and the executive flat. So the analysis that our team from January this year till September. So for about 9 months data, right? So within these 9 months, right, you can see the uplift in PSF for HDB flats nearby MRT station, is about 9.78%. So the green color means within 500 meter to 1 kilometer. And then the pink color means within 500 meters. So obviously, right? So uplift in PSF for HDB flats within 500 meters MRT station compared to those within the 500 to 1 kilometer MRT station. So you can see the increase here. And then if we move on, as you can see here, their observation is Bukit Merah, right? Bukit Merah estate have the highest uplift, about 26%, right? Highest uplift of 26%, so which is within 500 meters over the last 9-month period. So you can see all this. You can take a screenshot if you want. So verifying degree of PSF uplift observed within 15 mature estates, which I mentioned earlier. So we noticed that Bukit Merah have the highest uplift. And then here, you can see it's again color coded nicely for you, the pink color and the green color. So here on the median PSF of HDB flat within 0.5 to 1 station moved in tandem with those with 500 meters of MRT. So those within the 500 meter MRT consistently have higher median PSF. Okay, and they have a similar trend apparently from 2019. So looks like this trend has been going on some time now for almost 2 years, is it? Yeah, I keep thinking that sometimes we are still at 2020. So we have this now, the trend. So for next, to move on to our data insights, right? I'm going to jump into our AgentNet and show you guys the live demo. So let me quickly log into my AgentNet here. Okay. Let's go to. Okay. Sorry about that. Right. So okay. Let me make it slightly bigger. Okay, I hope you guys can see. So here, once you log into your AgentNet, right? So once you log into your AgentNet, when you click Insights, you know, you're able to see your Market Insider, Project Insights, Home Report, and Explorer. You're able to see the new tag there. So for this, I'm going to play with my Project Insight first. So again, I just want to kind of remind you, we are now trying to persuade our seller, right? Trying to persuade our seller, or you know, our seller has an idea like, okay, you know, I think I want to sell Kuga. You know, how can you help me or anything like that, right? So, so this is for the seller. So here, I'm going to go through project insights first, right? So first, look at the property your seller have an intention, you know, whether you know, he wants to sell, you know. So you narrow down whether it's a condo or HDB. Okay, for today's session, I'm just going to maintain it at condo. Then I am going to narrow down further. Let's say I'm looking at bedok residence, right? It will load. Okay, so once it's load, right, you're able to see here. Okay, it's just a quick kind of overview. Usually it's nice to show to a buyer, because obviously seller's house, he knows he knows this kind of information, right? So bedok residence, you know, it has 9 blocks, you know, 580 units, then the amenities, so and so. So I want to narrow down, let's say, to block 30, all available years, and then let's say I want to look at the estimated gain. So I choose the particular unit that the particular seller wish to sell, right? For example, this. So I can make a comparison if I want to see, you know, what are the neighbors are giving or selling and things like that. So as you can see, obviously, when you look at the brown or mustard color, it means estimation loss. And then the green is estimation gain. So you can do a comparison by clicking more than one by control click. Here, before I move on to explain this, right, I just want to show you this rental demand and sale demand here, right? So you're able to tell your seller, hey, looks like, you know, the sale demand here for this particular unit of yours, it has a high demand. So that means most likely, you know, be able to capture buyer, hopefully, you know, as fast as we want, right? So it looks like the sale demand is pretty high. And then when you click at a particular unit, you're able to see the last transacted date. When was it? You know, this was 2011. The last transaction was about 848. And then the estimated price for now is about 916, right? Almost a mil. So we get about 8.1 estimation profit gain. So you can use this to explain to your seller, hey, it looks like you're getting a gain, because if you look at your neighbor, you know, this was last in 2020. If it's going to sell now, you know, taking the SSD ends in within 12 months and so on, now it's going to lose about 11% negative, right? So you can use this, right, to advise your seller that the sale demand here is looking strong. So meaning that there are many buyers out there, you know, looking to buy units at the bedok residential. So now that you show this data, right, you can advise the seller whether it's worth selling. So this is just an example, you know, that there are times that you might come, you might see, you know, there's a lot of losses, right, because there could be a lot of projects and so on. So you advise accordingly. And then let's move on to the next insights, which is the home report. Oops, happened here? Sorry, I think. Let it load. Okay. Sorry, my internet is slightly slow than usual. Right, okay. So let's jump to home report. Right. So again, home reports, right, gives you a most detailed data. So you get a well-rounded holistic understanding of the particular property. So you get information about the unit and compare with other units in the same stack, condo or HDB landed and so on, right? So again, just a reminder, okay, if you attended our session yesterday, I keep reminding this, but always choose a pick or the filters first, right? For example, I'm just going to maintain it the same here, Bedok residence. And then let's say block 30, floor 08, and let's say stack 52. And then apply filters. Okay, so here you see we have applied the filters and we get the information for the particular property. In the event, if you want to do a new search, right, please always reset filters and then you do a new search, right? And then it'll take some time to generate reports. So give it about 5 to 10 seconds, and then it will generate the report here, right? So here, you can advise a seller, right, the potential estimated price if he decided to sell, how much gain he would get. So you can compare this with the project inside there. Does it tally or not, right? So if he decided to put listing, this definitely looks good for the seller for making such a huge amount. So here, I'm considering this is about estimation price about almost $1 million, and then this is the estimation gain for the particular seller. So looks pretty interesting to me. So if I scroll down a bit, I'm able to see transaction, the last 30 transaction here. Why is it important for you as an agent as well to advise the seller, right? You can show, hey, the last transaction was, I think, about 2 weeks ago, 10 September. This is the block floor stack and so and so, about 2 million. So next thing they'll ask, hey, Kuga, how come their house is 2 million and you're telling mine is almost 1 million, not even 1 million, right? So always kind of see properly before you inform the seller or buyer or whatever, right? A customer. So the catch here is, now I did a mistake as well when I was playing with it. So always take notice of the floor area. When you want to advise someone, make sure, because if you realize, right, the one that I want to sell here is only 592 square feet. So when I'm looking at transaction price, I want to make sure that I choose similar to it, and then I can advise. Hey, it looks like, that's the market price, this is what we're going to push for you. Okay, so you can able to advise them, hey, this is what's happening in the market. Looks like this is the market price, the demand price. So let's move on. If you're happy, let's go for it, right? So again, if I scroll up a little bit, right, you're able to see, you're able to advise seller on other listings in the market, you get to see your competition as well. So you can use this to benchmark, to set your own selling price. So in conclusion, right, it's kind of safe to tell the seller, hey, it's good time to sell and all these things. So here you can see, right, the rental demand for Bedok was very high the last 1 year. So, you can tell the seller, like if we're going to sell it to someone, we can use this as one of our main points as well. And then I'm able to click view listings to see what are the listings available in Property Guru, right? To see whether we are in the same range or what's the asking price and so on, right? Let me just go back. sorry. Okay, so you have all this data, right? So you just need to paint a proper picture to them. You know, look, this is happening. Your sale is very high. You know, I mean, the sale demand is very high, and then you're getting a good estimated gain, and then looks like, you know, people are looking at this listing. So if we're going to put up that listing, looks like, you know, we can be able to sell it a bit fast compared to maybe slightly not so famous or not so demanded properties. Let it load. Again, apologies, my internet is a bit slow. Taking longer than usual. Right, okay. Okay, it reset and reflection is kept away, but doesn't matter. So I just want to show you what I've done earlier is I click on the view sales listing under the information about the particular unit, right? You're able to see how long, right, does this listing stays. So you kind of like have your own idea, like say, oh, okay, the last 1 month ago, we had about 54 listing. And then the last 2 months ago, you know, this is the listing, this is the median PSF and so on. So you kind of like, how do I say, make an assumption how fast, or, you know, what's the asking sale PSF in a summary, right? To advise the particular seller. I'm not going to go down and show you much because this is more to buyer perspective, but in case, you know, you missed out yesterday's session, I'm just quickly going to scroll down and show you, you know, this is the median monthly rental trends, which is very useful for the buyer, and then some, you know, comparison and so on. So that is home report. Home report have amazing, amazing, amazing data. So now what I want to do to you, I want to share with you, right, is I want to paint a slightly different picture here. So let me present to you another insights, which we call Market Insider. Okay, here, right, first thing first, you're able to see some nice color-coded map, right? So Market Insider is a powerful tool. You can achieve a bit macro look on how the market is doing for both condominiums and the property in HDB, right? So, sorry, I said both. So for the condominium and the property in HDB. So, let's say from seller's perspective, right? The seller wants to sell a property in District 16, maybe, right? So what you can do is just a very macro view, right? So you click on District 16 here. You can do more than one by control clicking. Before I click it, let me just maybe explain the color code. What is the color code about? So the color code, the darker it gets, meaning that there's more transaction, right? So the lighter it is, means there's less transaction. So let's say I'm looking at D16. And then I'm looking within the last 5 years, and this is my area square feet and so on, right? So what happens the moment when I click on a particular district 1 or 2, let me make it slightly smaller. So this 4 little graph here, right? It automatically updates for me. So as you can see, here it mentions D16, 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 D16. So if you choose more than one, it will indicate all the district that you chose. So here, right, once I narrow down, right, so I can already see, right, the volume transaction isn't very high for D16. So the median PSF seems to be dropping, you know, it seems to be dropping. So slightly around, I would say, this is 1,000, about almost $300, right? So I would advise sellers somewhat mentally be prepared, right? Listing may need some time to move and things like that. So the trend is not so great, okay, because it's just the trend is going down forward and so on. So you have this, and then if you scroll down a little bit, okay, you're able to see this is exclusive from Fiji, right? Exclusive from Fiji. What it does is give a comparison, okay, a comparison between what is been asking as a seller, right? This is what I want, but can I get what I want or not? You know, so that we will go through what is actual happening. So as a seller, right, probably, you know, they're asking, hey, Okuga, I want about 1,006, 1,007. But looks like the transactions are happening between 1,004. So there's a gap, right, between asking PSF and then the transacted PSF. So you can advise your seller not to be misled by the asking prices as a competitor's listing, but you know this is actually happening. So as an agent, right, you want to make sure that you share this correct data, right, to make sure that you give them the information that they need to hear. So not only just to paint a beautiful picture, but you know, so they have the trust, the credible in you by sharing this thing. Hey, look, let's lower your expectation. Let's meet halfway. You know, I have a buyer, but you know, this is what they want. Are you prepared? You know, that kind of thing. And then if I scroll down a bit, okay, always choose your property type. Again, choose your property type and then narrow down to the particular district. Okay, we tend to forget this, but make sure you do that. D16 here, for example. So as you can see that last 30 days transaction. So this is as of 17 September, which is last week, right? So 17 September, we can see the area square feet for D16 for the square feet about 1,004, the PSF, and then the price. Okay, so you need to share, especially share to the sellers, making sure that you share the right information. I keep emphasizing on this. Make sure you share when you know if their house is 600 square feet, you don't go and show about 1,004 and things like that. So make sure that you know you show them. So I just want to paint a slightly different picture. Like earlier, I showed you home report and project insights, like, hey, they're doing good and so on, right? So this is a slightly different picture here. And then, yeah, so this is Market Insider. Okay, so remember, I want to repeat myself. Whatever you choose in here, let me just show you another sample. Maybe I just control click another district. So it'll automatically populate in the first four. Okay, and then the rest, make sure you do a new search. Okay. Now, the last thing that I want to share with you guys is Explorer. So Explorer was launched last week only. So meantime it launched, meantime when it loads, let me just explain to you. Explorer, like I said, is newly launched tool, right? So it helps to create like a quick and easy comparison, especially when you're going for a meeting or when you're going for a particular, meeting up a client and so on, right? It's pretty awesome. You can download it in nice PDF and so on, right? And you can show them. So if your seller is figuring out how property is to be sold in the market, right? You also can use Explorer to compare the median PSF price, the past transaction of nearby projects. You can compare up to 3, right? So 2, with a specific floor range and things like that. So for example here, right? This is my, what we call date range. I can create a segment, project or by location. Let's say I'm looking at project, condo, and let's say the Bayshore. You can be more specific if you want, but I'm just gonna skip this and maybe another one. And let's say, okay. Here, right? So I got a little pin there to show where is it in the map. And then if I scroll down a bit, right? Here you're able to see the transaction trend. You can see whether with the number of transaction or median transacted PSF as well. So here it gives you the trend. So I chose way back, right? So you can choose maybe the last few months or few years, you don't have to go way back, right? So you can look at that and then you can see the trend that's happening. So whenever you see this little graph, right? So make sure you put your cursor on. Okay, you're able to get more information, like a slightly in-depth information. For example, if I put in my cursor here, it says, hey, number of transactions was 7 in April, so and so. So if your seller is figuring out, so here, right, you're able to advise the seller the transaction trend between the two projects. So maybe, they have like 2 projects they want to sell, right? So they can even decide which one to sell first, which one makes more money. And then, if another one is, can wait and things. So here the median PSF for Bayshore Park is higher than the Bayshore, right? Okay, so you can show your potential seller that the median presented PSF. If I go scroll down a little bit, you're able to see this download button as well. There you can nicely download it. Then you can send through WhatsApp and so on, right? So here are the transaction details, the breakdown to it. Again, the contract date. And now obviously, the district here. And then the pricing. Okay. So again, here you tell your potential seller what they can roughly expect if they decided to put their property on the listing. So for easier visual, right, you can compare on the table form as well. Okay, you have this table form. So you have this Bayshore and Bayshore Park. You can do a comparison up to 3, right? Another one. And then you have your median transacted PSF, number of transactions, the last 3 months, active listings, so and so. Okay. I hope I make it clear. I know there's few questions going, but my colleagues here are already answering them. Is there anything that you guys not clear of or anything like that that we can try to answer you before we end the session? While my team is answering the question through chat box, I would like to launch a poll here. Will be really, really helpful for us in the team if you guys can answer this quick 10 question. Question number 7 onwards, or is it 6 onwards, is about the data bite, the small bite-sized data insights that I share with you. My team wants to know, right? My colleagues wants to know whether these insights are useful. If yes, would you like to get it more often? Because these data you might not or may not have the time or get this data, right? So they have their own ways, I don't know how it works, right? The data science team. So they're able to help you to get the information. So it will be really helpful if you could answer the poll. Launch the poll. In meantime, we're able to take some questions as well if there's any. Yes, Emmy, yes. Let me just backtrack and show you the package again. Yes, your advanced package, right? Yeah, basically you have all except Explorer. The only difference is that you get non-real-time data, slightly slower updated. That's all. There's not much difference. I think CK Liao has a question. Shanice, would you know why Heron Bay project is not available in Explorer yet? Is it work in progress or?
Hi, maybe give me a few minutes to just double check as well.
Yeah, sure. CK Liao, could you please give my team a few minutes for to confirm why is it not there? Because Explorer is pretty new. Like I said, it's just last week, so it could be work in progress. In meantime, guys, I really appreciate if you could answer the poll for us so that we know how helpful is this, how can we upgrade ourselves, how can we do better. So feel free to, let us know as well.
Regarding CK's question about Heron Bay, I think we will need to double check with our other colleagues who were working on this Explorer product. So if you can leave us your contact information, we can also get back to you.
CK, would you able to put in the chat box to me directly if you don't want to share to everyone else? My team will get back to you. Christina, what's the difference between non-real-time and real-time? So real-time data gets updated within 7 days. Non-real-time data gets updated within 6 weeks and so. So it's just the time difference only, not much bigger change or anything. It's just how fast or how soon it gets updated. Okay, so I'm waiting for CK Liao's contact details. If you could message me or my team Shanice inside, then we can get back to you. Brian, I think you asked this yesterday, right? About the Elvis Park. I think Shanice is checking that out as well. I'm quickly going to save this to make sure that we get back to you. Just give me 2 minutes.
Yeah. Brian, I think if you can leave your contact details with Cougar, we can also get back to you separately so that we're not holding up everyone else. Thank you.
Yeah. So I have CK Liao's contact already. So I need Brian's contact. Brian, if you're able to message me. Yep, got Brian's as well. Right, so okay, I wouldn't want to hold up the rest of you. Once again, thank you so much for being part of our webinar session and such a very good spot. Hopefully, you know, this whole insights are very useful for you. Like I said, you know, it's just the beginning. You will be getting more and more insights, context, and so on, right? So please stay tuned for more in interim in between. You want to know more about academy, you want to know about help center and so on. Just go through these websites, right? So otherwise, thank you so much. Have a wonderful week ahead, end of the week already. So hopefully we're able to see you soon. Thank you so much and have a nice day.